All right. Hey, everybody. TG here. We should be good to go. We're hopefully on YouTube, Facebook, X, all those kind of things, and then also in the Moxie room. And yeah, it's been another great day in the market. I've got some things that I wanted to show you guys, especially for those of you over in the social media land and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, this market has been doing great. We totally nailed the bottom of it, which started with CPI. So this was PPI day, and then CPI was when the market jumped up like this. And yeah, thanks, Sonny. And yeah, we nailed that with a 412% call debit spread. Should have just stuck with a regular call, but man, I didn't. This move, which I thought was going to take 2 days to go this far, happened in 1 day. So it was a ginormous move. And then we also put a put credit spread underneath a 1 DTE, and then the market jumped up again. So we got 96% out of that one. So that worked out well. And we might be gunning for 6,100 today, which yeah, that's pretty good. That's like a big round number that we yeah, exactly, Austin. I kind of think that we might be doing that. So hitting 6,100 and then maybe kind of pulling back a little bit from there. So let's see if we kind of ring the bell at 6,100 since that is a big round number. And pretty much you can see right here, that is the previous all-time high, 6,100. So things like that can act as both a magnet and also resistance at the same time. So yeah, that might be the target for today. The other thing that I wanted you guys to see, because there's some activity in one of the names I'm going to showing you guys next. This was something I posted yesterday. So I'm on Pacific time, 11:55 a.m. And I was talking about the semiconductors. So SMH, keep zooming in on this, saying that these things have been working pretty well, that the big pop that we saw after the CES event, I said, that's probably the trigger, but you don't want to buy it right there because it was a gap up. I said, wait for it to kind of come back down. And since then, and seeing what the market's been doing, all this kind of stuff, and I said, it looks to me like the semiconductors are looking pretty strong. And again, Trump has been inaugurated. What, today is Wednesday, so this is like his second day in office, and he's already moving and grooving and having meetings. And there's like all sorts of news that's coming out. And at least for the stock market and stuff, good stuff, good things that are coming out of this. And if one of the things specific I'm going to show you right here is ARM. Now we've traded this in the past, and I told you guys right here, I said, hey, these things are looking good. And if you want to play SMH through the ETF, you can do it through SOXL. So let's take a look at what ARM looks like today. Boom. Nice big move there. So yeah, very, very nice. Alerted this out yesterday to anybody. And you can see here, this pullback right there was a trampoline move on the hourly chart. So that is price dipping below an uptrending hourly 50 while the Moxie indicator is above zero. That's a trampoline move. And now you can see here, big mover like that. And if you look at the monthly and weekly, you can see that, yes, it's been quiet for quite some time, but look at that squeeze that was shaping up on the weekly time frame. And this thing basically flagged right into the weekly 50. And now we've gotten this big move up here, as I said, pretty much based on news of, Trump and AI and all this kind of stuff, all that. So yeah, it's been a wild ride out there as far as news and things that are moving around and all sorts of stuff. So ARM having a field day. So basically from where I alerted out 23% up from a pretty decent spot. And that's on a name that's probably kind of a bit of a slow mover. So yeah, solid stuff that's happening out there. And then if we look at the SMH, again, nice solid moves from here. And you can even see, yeah, there were a lot of Moxie indicators that were firing back here. I get that. It was very choppy, but really the thing that set this apart was that move right there from the CES event. And I said, I think that's the move, because if we look on the daily chart, we can see that this thing was just in this box, chopping around for a while. And then the CES event happened. We got that. And I said, I think that's the breakout. But as you can see, it ran right into its previous high. It gapped up. It was unsupported. The market was still pulling back at the time. And so I said, I think that is the signal, but not the buy. And basically for me, the buy would have been right here or anywhere along the 15-minute 50 in through there. Moxie indicators obviously looking great. And you can see we just keep moving up strongly from here. So yeah, really good stuff. Carissa, no, I wouldn't be too itchy to take profits. You got to think about the context here. Something like ARM obviously has been in an uptrend, and then it went sideways for how long? What was that? August? Let's just say August to now. So 6 months, something like that. If it's been flagging sideways for 6 months and it's just now popping like this, I imagine it's got a good bit of distance to go and time. So no, I wouldn't hurry up and get out of this. Now, the only reason I would say that if you would get out of this is if you had like a weekly option. Okay, because if you happen to get in this and you got the timing right and you have 4 or 5 days, maybe even 10 days left on your option, yeah, you might want to start taking some profits. But if you're in stock or if you're in your longer dated option, no, this is the beginning of a fresh, big new move. Okay, I would not, don't cut yourself too short on something like this. Yes, it is right here at a previous high. Sure, it might take a little bit of time to digest that, maybe. But generally speaking, as far as a new, longer term big trend, this is 100% game on. So yeah, no, I wouldn't take profits here unless you had some short dated option. Yep, exactly. I agree with that. You wrote it out. I figured semis have to come back. Absolutely. I felt the same way, and you can see this thing is doing pretty well. So, yep, big volume that's coming into this, and we're getting Moxie price triggers across the board. So, ARM's doing great. Nvidia, has been out for a while, but this is why, this is why I put out this alert yesterday, and I said Nvidia looks like it could be double bottoming and likely to move up too. And if you look, that's what we're getting. So basically, here is our double bottom right there. And you can see, so there's our double bottom. There's your positive divergence on the MOX indicator. And you can see right here, it started to engage on that 15-minute time frame. Then we got the hourly Moxie price trigger, and now it's up. So, and the whole story with NVIDIA, it had its pop for CES, then came back. That's just market manipulation, just news, all that kind of stuff. But if you look at the big picture, it's bullish, but it had been so bullish in its past that it needed to digest. It just wasn't ready to move up quite yet. And you can see that over the last, again, several months, look how long this thing has just been going sideways, pulling back a little bit and building a base right here as it was on top of its previous all-time high. That is good. If you look at this, that is a bull flag on top of a previous all-time high. So just give yourself some time. Whatever you need to do, give it some time. And it seems to me eventually this thing is going to continue to work out to the upside. So that looks great. And you can even see if you look at SMH, right and through here, same kind of deal. Looks very much like ARM and kind of looks like NVIDIA. It's been holding its weekly 50. It flagged into its weekly 50. It flagged into its monthly 10, and now we're moving. So yeah, the semiconductors are coming back for sure. And again, for those of you out there on YouTube and Facebook and X and all that kind of stuff, like come on over. The water's fine. I mean, the thing I keep telling everybody, we're laughing about it in the Moxie room, is I'm struggling to trade all the names that are moving. I can tell you guys about all this stuff, and maybe you can take one share of all the different stocks if you want to. But this market is so good and so hot that there are so many names moving that yeah, I have a list of like 20, 25, 30 names that we just kind of keep trading. And there are more every day that are starting to set up and looking good. So we're having an absolute field day with these kind of names and the market as a whole. So yeah, now that the semiconductors are going, this is looking good. I know Sam over in our central room, he likes Avgo, nothing to not like here. Nice bull flag. That thing's been looking great. We even have PSTG. That name really just rings a bell for me for some reason. Something about it just sounds great. But yeah, look at this thing. Nice bull flag. I was telling them I put my dad's account in this one, and then I took a little try on some options in through here, and so that's working out nicely. But yeah, game on, guys. These things are looking pretty darn good. Okay, Steve, no, AMD is kind of like the only one that isn't really doing great. I don't know what the deal is with them. Maybe they're getting run over by NVIDIA, but yeah, they are definitely struggling. The only thing I could potentially say is maybe this is the bottom and maybe they're going to start turning around. But Steve, when there's so many other stocks out there that are doing well, I just don't want to go pick something like this. Even though this might be the bottom for AMD, do you think that this is going to end up being a winner? Sure, you can make some money and maybe this thing's going to go up, but I mean, this thing has been struggling for a long time. So I really don't want to go after a name like this when I could be going after a name like this. Which one would you rather go for? So yeah, if you look at if the difference between these things, I rather go for ARM, I rather go for Avgo, heck, go for Nvidia. AMD, something's going on with it. It's not right. There's something wrong with that thing. So yeah, no need to chase or struggle with something like AMD when you've got so many other options to choose from. Andrew, nice. Yeah, keep communicating to me about these cover calls and stuff like that you're working with. What strike did you do for your covered call, and like what duration do you do? Because I'd be interested to kind of see what you do for some of this, because I have a Roth IRA account and I've been contemplating doing covered calls on stuff like that too. But as I said yesterday when I was on the mic, it's like I'm already got my hands in a lot of things, and this market's moving so hot and everything that it's just adding one more thing to my list of things that I'm doing and watching just might be a little too much. So I've been a little reluctant to do some covered calls. But yeah, good on you for having some covered calls and probably being wise to take it off, because these things are starting to really move. And not that it would be too much of a problem, because having covered calls is never really an issue. But wouldn't it kind of be, I don't know, sad if you had some cover calls like this and you got called away on a move like ARM? You're just kind of giving up potential profits for yourself. And that's kind of what I mean, is that the market is coming out of such a big pullback. We had a 7-week pullback, and the internals, the breadth got really, really stretched to the downside. I would hate to limit myself on something like that with some covered calls, especially when the market is basically at a low and things are really starting to heat up. So that's another reason why I haven't been interested in doing any kind of covered calls. Yeah, you don't get called away if you sell them. I know that. So that's what I'm trying to say is, you sell them early and all that kind of stuff, but I would hate for something like this to just, shoot up against me and then kind of have to deal with that. Yeah, okay, Andrew. So yeah, you're doing a whole lot of stuff as far as managing your account. That's fantastic. We always encourage you guys, if you're good with it and if it works for you, hey, trade around your positions. Some people will say, I've been in ARM since, $50. I don't want to get rid of it. So in situations like this, they're selling stuff and they're selling stuff and they're trading around it. So there are a lot of different ideas that you can work with when it comes to stock trading through this kind of stuff and using options to maximize your position on these things. Yeah, exactly. It's all about defending the position itself. So 100%. And things like toast, same kind of deal. You could be doing something like that if it has options and on all that. We just never quite know how far the pullback is going to be. But if these are pretty good positions, and if they don't pull back too bad, then if you want to keep that core position, you start trading around it and doing those option strategies. So yeah. Oh, okay. You've owned some stocks for 10 years. Gosh, you and Emil should be talking. And Sonny, I think you guys like to hang on to your stocks for quite some time. So yeah, you are in good company with people who like to hang on to some longer term stuff. Yeah, Emil's even has some stuff back from the COVID era when everything got tanked. All right, so Michael, let's see. Let's take a look at CRNC. And we got some more spam showing up. Let's see, block this user. So getting rid of that spam out there. And oh gosh, yeah. So CRNC, what is this thing? I don't know. Is this nuclear, or is this Bitcoin? Is this AI? What is this thing? Uh, as I've kind of said in the past, when people present names like this, I'm going to be in this environment. Okay, it's AI software. That makes sense. In this environment, I'm going to be pretty casual when it comes to saying whether something's going to work or not, because this is the kind of market that we start to get like crazy names coming out of nowhere and working. Okay, so if you guys find something that looks at all potential, I'm going to mostly say like, yeah, it's looking all right. I'm going to write this one down, CRNC. CRNC. NC, and say it certainly has potential. Now, it might be on the riskier side, sure, and they might have crazy move ups and crazy pullbacks. But for the most part, yeah, I mean, this is kind of the environment. And if you look at something like this, you can see that, yeah, it has found at least an area where it doesn't want to go lower. Obviously, it's been going lower for a very long time because interest rates were going up, the bubble was being popped. It just was not safe for small caps like this to get going. But ever since things started to change, interest rates coming down, Trump getting elected, AI picking up, nuclear names, the vibe has changed. And now we're seeing that this thing stopped going down, volume started coming in, and basically there's your Moxie price trigger on the weekly chart. And yeah, popped up, flag, pop up, flag, So yes, it seems as though these things are starting to work. They do kind of have they had some volume, maybe what was it? It's decent, 750 a million. That's okay. And now it's suddenly popped up to 11 million. So of course, this environment where people are like, I want anything and everything. It's a little bit like the .com situation where they're like, "If you got a website, great. We're gonna make you work." And then right now it's like, oh, AI software, let's go, because everyone's trying to figure out what's going to work, what's going to stick. And so a lot of money is getting thrown into just about anything out there, and they're just going to see what's happening. Yeah. Okay. So the AI for automotive industry. Okay. So that's, yeah, CRNC. That's good to know. AUR is kind of in that area. This is for visual automation for cars and stuff. So I'm kind of waiting for this thing to pop up like that. We've been talking about MDAI. That's a nice one that's kind of popped up and looking pretty decent. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there that's going to be moving and grooving and shaking along. And you just got to figure out if you can handle the wiggles, because yeah, look at these kind of moves that we get. All right. So as long as you can kind of be either brave and smart as we kind of get through this, then some of these things should be working out. Yeah, there are a lot of opportunities out there. Let's see, AMPX. This is another one I've kind of had noted. Same kind of deal. We're seeing a lot of these things starting to pick themselves up off the floor. Again, names that were just down, 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 down. They finally reached a low. You see that there's a lot of volume coming in, and then they're starting to move up. Okay. This is the kind of environment where we are going to have more stocks to choose from than we could probably reasonably trade. And that is the problem that I keep running into, is I want to be trading everything and I can't. And so we're just doing the best we can to really get a hold of these things. But yeah, this market is absolutely fantastic. Now, as far as the indices go, we kind of talked about that this morning with you guys in the Moxie room. I would say we need to be prepared that over the next few days, the market's probably going to take a bit of a breather. And that's because we've had over a week of the market basically going straight up. Okay. Lots of frothiness, things coming up off the lows. We've been seeing all sorts of, records or big names, like breadth is expanding, uh, things we haven't seen for a few years, all that kind of stuff, records being made. And that's fantastic. But if we do look at things like the IWM and look at the indices, look at this. It's running right into the daily 50, and it's starting to pull away from some moving averages here. And, we've had kind of this vertical move, and now we could probably use some digesting. And same thing, if you go back and you look at the S&P, I mean, this thing has been just pop, 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 and straight up. I mean, really, really strong moves. And you can see that now we are starting to pull away from moving averages. And so I wouldn't be too panicked, but I do think you need to be careful about starting to load up on some of these positions. Of course, like, look, the green light is on. The market is saying green light, we're bullish, let's go. But we do need to be cognizant of the effect of the market on individual names. And so if the market kind of says, all right, look, I've been up for a solid week, we're gapping up, we're starting to get pretty darn stretched. In fact, we are coming up on this previous all-time high and some resistance. Yeah, most likely the market's going to need to digest. And what that can mean is maybe we get a little bit of a pullback over a few days, maybe we go sideways, something like that. And individual names can keep running, but also maybe some names are going to kind of come under some pressure because the market doesn't just keep ripping. Okay. And so if you see something that's a little too extended, hey, give it a little bit of time, because we might be starting to see this thing come down a little bit. And, maybe it'll be a better opportunity to buy it in a few days as opposed to today. Well, Cool. Yeah, nice, Michael. Yeah, all sorts of stocks out there. In fact, I probably need to keep going around, looking around, and looking up more and more stocks. But through what the list I have, and the hot list, and the watch lists, and the things that I've got, oh, man, there's just so much opportunity that more names is almost going to just be more distracting, or it's going to be like more FOMO. Oh, I want this name. Oh, I want that name. And then next thing you know, you've got 40 tickers on your list, and maybe that's a little bit challenging to manage. But yeah, things overall are doing pretty great. Yeah, yeah. No, these things. This is the environment, man. So yeah, if you want to get a little crazy with some of these names, I will support it as long as you're reasonable about stuff. But yeah, we're looking at stuff having good moves. I will say, if we do look at Bitcoin, this was kind of the example that I used earlier with the Moxie group, and said, yeah, don't be surprised if we see a little bit of pullback, a little bit of consolidation from the market, because look what Bitcoin did. We had a big run up, just like the market is doing right now. And what it do? Ran right into its previous all-time high. And what it do? It's settling in for a couple days. So be prepared and expect this from the market, and see if that kind of helps quell any of these really big moves and gives you guys opportunities to get in. So if there's a name that you really want and you feel like you're chasing it, try not to chase it. Give it a little bit of time and see if it kind of comes in a little bit. Okay. So yeah, gosh, where do we leave off with this for those of you out there? I see a lot of eyeballs. I swear, every time I tune into this on Wednesday, I see more and more eyeballs out there, and I think you guys need to come on over. Yeah, we get a lot of people looking at this thing, and this market is absolutely on fire. Okay, put your political leanings aside if you aren't happy with things, and if you're here to make money in the stock market, you got to just recognize that, because I keep telling people the market was also on fire when Joe Biden got elected. So whether it's Biden or Trump, go with the direction. If you want to make money, you got to put your political leanings aside and just say, where is the money going? Where is the administration supporting things? And just go for it. Okay, it's better to make money than to be right, or to be upset with what's happening out there. You can go do other things, but if we're here in the market, we're here to make money. Okay, that's what we need to keep our eyes on. So yeah, other than that, guys, come on over. We've got trials. If you want to come over to simplertrading.com/Moxie. That's how you guys can get into my room. I keep seeing new names coming in here. Make sure you guys say hello when you come in. Let me know that you're new. We'll make sure you've get plugged in and find all the right things that you need. And then yeah, whenever we find good positions, you can hop on board. And yeah, we're having a good time. I mean, again, you see things like ARM. I alerted this thing out yesterday, and look at today, pop, pop. So yeah, you guys don't want to be missing this market. Come on over, and we'll see you guys in there. Yes, S&P 6100 hit. Let's check that out real quick. Did it actually make it? Oh yeah, there it is. Yep, 6100. Okay, let's see if, yeah, I would imagine that's the top. So I don't know if you guys want to look at selling credit spreads up there or anything else like that. I don't know what else to necessarily do, but yep, 6100. Nice, Austin. So let's see if that over the next few days, let's see if the market kind of rang the bell at 6100. Let's see if we start getting some consolidation, some pullback, and then we can start to load up on more stuff as we find these dips that we can buy. Okay, guys, thanks again. And for the Moxie room, I will see you guys in just a couple hours in the central room as well. Okay.